welcome to another episode of the Card Divo presents Zodiacs. It is Friday, February 3rd, 2000. For some reason, I was going to say 2006. No, it is not 2006. It is 2023. Welcome to the show. I want to thank everybody who's watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. If you don't mind sharing this on your page, let your friends and family watch along with you. If you're watching us on YouTube, scroll down, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. It'll let you know every time there's a new episode on the air or any new show on the YouTube page. And remember, on Mondays, we've got horoscopes in the morning, so you can check those out on every other Monday right now. We've got the Insightful Movie Review Show, which this coming Monday, we are reviewing Torch Song Trilogy with Harvey Feinstein that you can find actually on YouTube. We were looking everywhere, and we finally found it on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube, check out Torch Song Trilogy and see and check it out, and then you can join the conversation on Monday. On Wednesdays, we've got the Christian and Daniel Show. On Fridays, we've got Card Divo presents Zodiacs, and then on Saturdays, we've got Put It Together live stream. Which this weekend we do not have a show. I have to run some errands, and I won't be able to be here, but we'll be back next week with some new guests. And now I want to introduce my also co-host. He's not guest co-host anymore. He's just a regular co-host now. You lost the special now, sir.
I love it. I'm happy to lose the special.
You're not special anymore. He's part of the regular menu.
I love it.
Welcome, Mr. Richard Wayne. Huh?
I'm a staple.
You're a staple. It brought to mind that TikTok video where they're like, they do sell staples at Staples, and they.
Yes.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know. How are you, sir?
Absolutely. I am good. What an interesting week it's been, coming into a full moon on Sunday. I'm definitely feeling the emotional energy ramping up since we have the full moon in Leo coming up on Sunday. So I've definitely been feeling that. But I feel like today was the most productive out of the whole week for me. So I'm feeling good about it and excited to get going into the weekend.
Do you have any special things reporting today? Did you work on anything? I didn't ask you.
I could. I kind of just took a peek at it. So obviously the big thing that's happening is the full moon this week. And like I said, it is in Leo. So this is definitely, Leo is a very passionate sign. Leo is very loving. My moon is in Leo, so I definitely can speak to that as well. But with this one coming up, you might find along the plans that you've been making might need a last minute shift and change and heading into a different direction than you were looking for. Also with this full moon energy, Leos are known to be both very productive and dramatic, but then they can also, on the other side of that, be somewhat lazy. So there may be some lazy energy coming into this week, but I think once we hit that full moon, we're going to get recharged. Our love bucket, so to speak, is going to get refilled with this Leo moon. And I think we'll be able to move forward with whatever we find shifting. We'll be more excited about coming out of that after Sunday, after the full moon. So if you're feeling emotional, that's what it is. But it's not like a depth of emotions. It's a lot more demonstrative, and talents are at focus and all of those things, because Leo does oppose Aquarius. So they're the balancing sign between those two. But definitely be aware of Sunday. If you're feeling different, feeling intense energy, it's that Leo full moon. And, use it for its best. If you're feeling like you need to rest, allow yourself to rest. If you're feeling like you want to be productive and make things happen, then this is great energy to kind of embody and move forward with.
That is very interesting, considering what I went through yesterday. For those of you watching, it's time for confessions. I'm about to confess. I had not, and I'm keeping my clothes on. I had not, darn it. I had not been to a gym, like to work out in a gym, for about 15 years, probably 16 years since I moved to California. But I worked a lot in setting up and breaking down events. So I was always working up until my ostomy surgery. And then after that, a little bit of fear was put in my head about my ostomy. Not that I couldn't exercise, but I was concerned of how people were going to look at me. And then I was telling Wayne about this earlier. And then finally, a couple of weeks ago, it really, really started on me. I thought about it for a while, and then a couple of weeks ago was like, I think after the New Year, was that I thought I was being quite a hypocrite because I come on and I tell you folks about body, mind, and spirit, and I was working on my spirit and I was working on my mind, but I was not working on my body. And I thought something is missing. And I think you and I have Wayne and I hang out together off the show, so we're actually friends. He's not just here for the show, but or I think it's been a couple of years now that I kept telling you like something's off. I don't feel well. Like something's not connecting. I just always felt disconnected. Like something was off, and every little change in my life just felt so ending. Like it was just the ending of all in the fear, and particularly during the holidays, right before the New Year. So yesterday, folks, I went to the gym. I finally went and stepped into a gym. I was there for an hour. I want to thank my friend Dana. He doesn't watch the show, but Dana, I had him walk with me. Just kind of like Estella, hi, and I didn't say hi to Deborah. Hi, Deborah. Welcome to the show. But um, he walked me through. We did an hour of exercise. I feel a little sore, but I feel like I'm connected to my body again, which is really interesting. Um, like the pain makes me feel alive, and now I can connect my spirit. It's like three extension cords that you need to put things together. This side was my mind, this side one was spirit, and there was no body connecting them. And I finally found a connection, extension cord, long enough to plug everything in. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. So hopefully I will be there tomorrow because one day to rest. I'll be back at the gym tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually not afraid. I'm looking forward to go to the gym tomorrow. Does that make sense? The whole
Yes,
connection
and
thing?
I think for me too, when I am consistent or when I'm getting back into doing the gym, the thing that I always like to focus on is that feeling after I leave, because you have the endorphins going, you have the I did it, I pushed through, or sometimes I don't always do what I intend to go in, but I allow myself to push, and then knowing that being able to come out of it. But I think too, it's interesting when we talk about our chakras and our chakra system. Really working out is one of the best ways to clear your root chakra. And I wouldn't be surprised for you, Daniel. You're obviously extremely intuitive and you're very, very in tune. But the more that I think you're going to be consistent with getting that workout in for you, I think you're going to find you're going to be able to more easily access your I mean, you already do, but I feel like it's like upgrading from dial up to DSL back in the day, where you're going to be that much more connected. And I think, like what you said, you already are not feeling that disconnect as much from doing it. But I definitely think that, working out, it's directly tied to your root chakra, and that's what creates the basis for how you're able to manifest in the physical. So bravo to you. And actually going on your TikTok and watching your whole TikTok live that you did, I'm re-inspired because what you spoke about with I always feel judged when I go to the gym, and I know that I'm the one that's doing it and I'm the one that's causing it. And once you get there, you spoke to this, everyone's doing their own thing. No one's really concerned about what you're doing. They're concerned about what they're doing or who they're wanting to hit on. And I don't even feel like that happens all that often,
Yes.
So I want to say thank you for you being able to speak up about that and saying, I had that feeling, and that's exactly what I was feeling. And I'm feeling way more motivated to get in. I mean, I think it's funny. You said you purchased yours back in 2017.
Yes.
And you didn't use it until yesterday, right? I've signed up for 24-hour fitness 3 or 4 times. I signed up at the end of August last year for their end of summer deal. And it was a really good deal. It worked out to where it was like $20 a month. But I've gone like 3 times. So
Wow.
it's I need to get on it too. And you've definitely inspired me to do it.
We're about to become gym bunnies. Ha.
That's right.
Well, the coolest thing, before anybody says me, remember, for those of you watching, if you would like for us to pull a card for you, or actually a short reading for you, all you got to do is put me in the comment section. And we don't have any takers right now, so we're going to keep talking. One of the coolest things was I had to do something with my credit card. I had to change the credit card that I had on file. And while I was waiting, there was one of the trainers we were making fun of one of the service people, one of the salespeople. And he asked me, he's like, did you have a good time today? And I was like, I did. Excuse me. And I go, I purchased my membership in 17. Excuse me. Obviously, Spirit wants to get out right now. But I go, I hadn't been to the gym since. And he's like, why not? I said, well, I had cancer and I had surgery and I was very concerned about it. And he looked at me up and down. He goes, where's the surgery? And I go, oh, I said, I have an ostomy. And he goes, oh, you're an ostomate. I go, yeah. He goes, cool. And then he kept talking. And I was like, he didn't notice. Like, that was my big fear. My big fear was that somebody was going to notice, and he didn't notice. Which then I felt insulted. I'm like, why didn't you notice? Like, right here.
Exact opposite of what you were afraid of.
Why are you checking me out more, sir? But the fear immediately, immediately left, and I was like, okay, I'm good. So now I want to go back. Now I want to go back. All right. So we got the first meal on the table. We got Estella. Estella's a really good friend of mine. Would you like to take her first, and then I'll go after her?
Sure. I figured I would, so I went ahead and already pulled a spread for her. All right. So Estella, let's see what we have going on for you. So it looks like the basis or what you're focused on in your life currently right now is your career, finances, material needs being met. You have the 4 of Pentacles reversed. So it would tell me that right now you're in a period of feeling like you have to hunker down with your money and really be protective of what you've established, what you've built, for fear of things coming along and potentially stealing it away from you, taking it away from you, or the card that's crossing you right now is the Page of Swords. So this tells me that there is a lot of negative messaging that you're hearing, and a lot of it is framed from your point of view, from your perspective. So understanding that the messages that you're receiving right now, you're receiving in a more negative way or a more fearful way. And because of that, I think that that's making you even more so want to kind of hunker down with the assets that you have and the abundance that you currently have. With that being said, the theme for you right now is the Queen of Swords. So it tells me that your mind is right when it comes to looking at the situation. This situation does call for you to be a little bit more frugal and a little bit more detailed in the way that you're moving forward, especially in your business. It seems like in your recent past, there was some type of partnership. It seems like this is more business related, but it could be a mesh between business and a intimate partner as well. But recent past, this would mean that there's been some type of conflict, some type of potential dissolution of that. And I think that's also probably why you're feeling the need to hunker down in your finances and having your material needs being met. For current influences, you have another Queen card. So you're definitely, and you actually have another Queen that we're going to cover in just a second or so. So you definitely have a lot of energy around you that's about being able to attract. It's not so much about going and doing and physically making things happen, but it's more so about embodying what it is that you're wanting to attract and manifest. And then from that perspective, having it be attracted into your life. And that's really the way that you want to move going forward. You have the Hanged Man reversed going forward for you. So that would mean that you really need to see the situation with a fresh pair of eyes from a new perspective. And you're probably going to have to act in a way that's different than you have in the past for your continued success. So definitely keep that in mind. Internal influences for you right now. There's the other Queen, the Queen of Cups reversed. So this would tell me that right now you're really focused on your heavier emotions, your negative emotions. That's really what's overwhelming you at this time. And it almost feels like too much. Like as soon as you start thinking about making something happen, it's like you're overwhelmed emotionally. But what the universe is giving you in the situation is the Two of Swords, which this card typically represents blinding yourself from your own emotional truth, cutting off your heart from the truth, turning your back on your emotions. But this would say, I feel like the universe is telling you this is the time to kind of regulate your emotions a little bit more and understand. Let yourself feel the frustration, let yourself feel the sadness, but then allow yourself to be able to move forward and use your mental skills, knowing that you have the right heart and the right intention for moving forward. And if you're able to do that and moving forward, your outcome is Three of Pentacles. So it tells me that there's going to be recognition for the next leg of your work that you're doing. So it is good for you to kind of hunker down right now, but just know going forward, there is going to be abundance for you, but you just need to be able to kind of allow yourself to balance out your thoughts and your emotions. And I think that you'll find success with it.
Wow. I hope that helps. I hope that made sense to Estella. Estella said, "Spirits want to talk to me." Yes, he did, and I hope he delivered the message that you were looking for. Uh, if you wouldn't have told me, I wouldn't have ever known. I'm wondering if you're wondering about like me, the way that I feel. Yeah, yeah. Most people don't know that I'm usually very. I lack confidence sometimes, and Wayne and I have talked about this. Um,
Imposter
Estella
syndrome
said,
is definitely something that I struggle with for sure.
yeah, but when you hang out with your friends, you don't seem to you any lack of confidence you have in the real world seems to disappear when you're with your friends because your friends build you up, so it's easier to be built up. But then on my own, yeah, most people don't know that I'm the I'm so not.
But you know what I love that you do, Daniel, that helps you? Your Capricorn energy comes out, and you're one that you're willing to do the work, and knowing that if you do the work today and you do the work the next day and you do the work the next day and you do the work the next day, you know that you're going to have some type of shift in your experience. You may be doing the same thing every time, but there is a confidence that comes from being able to just throw yourself into it and make yourself happen with it. I think last week on the show you spoke about that too, of being able to just put it out there. Like doing these types of off the cuff readings really help you to be confident in the messages that are coming through, and in a way it helps you tune your intuition.
Yeah.
So you know that even if someone is not able to receive the message that you're giving at the time, you still know that it's accurate and it's going to resonate at some point.
Yeah, these blind readings, and just to let you know, we got Jody next with me, and then Gabe with Wayne. So just hold on, guys. But yes, these blind readings really helpful when I'm out there doing readings in an event or one-on-one. When I'm in front of somebody, that even when they look at me like I'm completely bananas, I stay confident that knowing that I trusted the messages. But you know where that repetitive, like do it until you get it right thing is, that's from rehab. That came from being in rehab, where you continuously like you it is said that it takes 21 days to change a habit, and waking up every morning, doing what I needed to do, and living my day the best I could is what changed my way of thinking, because that was not me before, which also includes making my bed every day. I cannot leave without making my bed, and that comes from rehab. All right, Jody. Oh, before I go, Estella says, "Wow, on point," and she said, "Wow again," so that's a double wow.
Wonderful.
You got a double wow today there,
Wow.
which was funny
Wonderful.
because okay, I know we have a lot of stories today. I had to film an audition, and usually Christian helps me with the audition. And I called Wayne, and he helped me by reading with me. And there's a sentence in there that says "wow" something, and I was like, "Whoa!" So we left that in the.
It was good. I'm excited. I'm excited for you for it.
She says, "Thank you." So you're welcome. You're welcome. Why am I
Yes.
saying welcome for you like you can't speak?
You're welcome.
All right, Jody. So I'll put you in the back. Jody, let's start with you. Number one, we're talking about what's coming up from the past. And here is the energy, female energy with the heart. So your heart is waking up again. Your heart is finding some of that energy around you. It's coming back, and enjoy it, particularly because right now in the today, there is the door to romance. It's upside down. It tells me that upside down, but I feel like it's because your heart is regrowing. The only example that I can think of, and I mean it with like love and respect, is the Grinch. The heart grew 3 times. Um, I feel like as you are finding, as you are loving yourself, you're opening the door to people to love you more. And now the thing is, don't be stubborn, because there's already a path laid out for you, and that path doesn't change. You might have taken some detours, but the path has always been there for you. So allow it to take you on this journey. Now, does your spirit have the energy? Yes. The cornucopia is upside down for me, but it tells me that you are gaining back your spirit and your energy. in order for you to go in the right direction. The fact is that your heart is already on a journey. And this is really interesting. Your heart's already on a journey, connected to your heart, connected to the romance. So you're already on this journey, whether you know it or not. You're already on this path, which is beautiful. Um, and because we're still working through a broken heart, so go working off of a broken heart energy is what's pushing you. Just like me, like I was talking about now, the insecurity is what's pushing me to do something to feel more secure about myself. So your broken heart is pushing you to mend your heart. So it tells me that your female energy is taking you on a journey to mend your heart. There's going to be plenty of energy to get through it because there's already a path laid out for you. And this is going to lead to romance in your heart again. So don't be scared. It's going to happen. But the fact that you're already on the journey of self-realization and self-love, man, I don't know if you agree, Wayne. Sometimes the journey to self-love is the hardest of them all because we can love other people, but we have such a hard time loving ourselves. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. And I think it's interesting because I think we definitely like the RuPaul saying, if you can't love yourself, how can you love somebody else? Which I think is true. But I also, especially on Instagram and in those spirituality realms, I've actually seen a lot of people speaking more. And actually, it's more the therapist route of being able to say that you can love someone else and still struggle to love yourself as well. That it is, in a way, easier to love those around you, especially those that are there for you and support you, and it can awaken that self-love within yourself. So I think it's funny because both statements I find resonate with me, but they're obviously somewhat opposing to a degree. But I completely agree.
All right. So we've got Gabe is next with Wayne, and then Crystal Kent, you are next with me after that.
Beautiful. All right, Gabe, I think I read you last week, if I remember correctly, but I'll be honest, and I know Daniel's spoken to this before too. I have no idea. I can't really remember what we spoke about, but it might come through now that I've connected with your energy. But I'll start out. It feels like your situation is still really focused on career and that aspect, abundance, bringing things in. And for you now, you have the Justice card, which is a great position, along with, interesting, the card that's crossing you is the World. So this tells me that you're in a situation where you are feeling just in your actions and how you're wanting to move forward in business. And you're feeling some pushback from wherever it is that you're trying to get that business through and from. With this being the challenge and crossing card for you, I would say you are in the position to be able to make those other parties see that you are seeing things accurately, that you are genuine in your approach and what you're trying to do and accomplish. And with that being said, your theme that you have going on for you is the Knight of Pentacles. So this tells me that you really are understanding the situation from a business perspective, from a bringing in this abundance. So that energy is definitely guiding you. And I think that that should make you feel more confident in your position and how you're addressing this. Recent past affecting your present is the Two of Swords. Interesting. This is popped up from our last reading. And with that being said, this would show that in the recent past, you've been kind of blocked off to what the issue is. I feel like it's just very recent for you that you're finally realizing, oh, this is what is bogging me down in this process. It's not completely stopping you, but it's slowing things up for you. And I feel like there's some frustration and hesitation that you've had because you weren't able to clearly and directly address what the issue is. With that being said, you have now, in the current influences, addressed it. You have the Two of Wands reversed, but you're still working out exactly how you are going to accomplish whatever it is that you're needing to accomplish in this business. And in the future, and future influences coming into being, you have the Ace of Swords. This tells me that the idea will come to you, whatever it is, that the inspiration that you need to be able to move forward confidently and being able to provide what it is that you're looking to provide. It's coming to you. It's just a matter of you acknowledging the situation that you're in, validating that you are coming from the right perspective, and you'll be able to move forward. And I feel like there'll be divine inspiration coming for you. With that being said, internal influences, what you're focused on is the King of Pentacles reversed. So I feel like there's some questioning. Like, I don't feel like you're a person that really doubts your abilities too often, at least not outwardly. But right now, this situation has really, I think, shook you and has made it to where you really have started questioning if there's viable business for you going forward. But I will confidently say that, yes, the universe is providing you with the abundance, with the excitement, with the right inspired ideas to be able to move forward. And it's really centered around making you happy and making sure that you feel like you're providing the best situation, best product, best whatever it is that you're providing in your business. Guidance from the tarot is the Empress, which just talks about abundance in all forms. So really just focus on what it is that you're wanting to manifest and bring forward, and that will come to fruition. And your outcome is the Eight of Wands, which means that action will happen very quickly. So I think this full moon, you're going to be feeling that energy, and before you know it, that is going to be shifting into gear and you'll be able to move forward.
Nice. And Gabe said, I'm going to pay Christian to go to your house and mess up your bed every day for a week. I make the bed at his house when I'm there. So, haha, there you go, mister. That had nothing to do with anything. All right. After that, I'm going to. Oh, by the way, Estela Mata, thank you so much for your tip. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
That gets me a burger tonight for dinner. I don't have to cook tonight. Woo! $5 more and I can supersize it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to take Kent, and then Lisa Ramirez, you are next with Wayne, so don't go anywhere. So for Crystal, hello, Crystal. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. For Crystal, starting off with your yesterday, this is about your second chakra, which is Archangel Ariel. It's upside down for me, so it tells me that things are not quite getting back to balance the way you want it. Some things are a little off still, but interesting enough, your first card is the Angel Ariel, which is it's a sacral chakra, but the Angel of Balance is in your today house. So there's a lot of love and there's a lot of angels. There's a lot of energy around you trying to get you back into balance. Now, the reason that some things aren't working is in your outcome. There's an envy card. Now, this could be one of two things. And we'll see what happens, but it could be envy coming from other sources into your energy, or your energy producing a little bit of envy towards other things. Now, I'll disclaim, I know Crystal for a while. I don't know you to be an envious person, but I'm going to clarify this for folks. Sometimes envy can be, if I, Daniel, am seeking services from something, if I go to a store and they treat me bad, if I go to the doctor and they don't see me on time, if I just don't get the service, not at a Karen level, but I'm just not getting this. If I start putting out the energy, why them, not me? Why them, not me? That can create that envious energy. Not the same way as I envy somebody that has more than I do, but in why am I answering correctly? So take that as you may, because that's what came to my head when it comes to the balance of your energy. Now, in your spirit, the reason I say you're going to come over this is because the victory card is there. It's in your spirit. It's upside down, so we're not balanced yet. So things are not where they're supposed to be. Do not panic, because in your heart there is the blossoming abundance. That means you'll have everything that you need to succeed and be victorious, but not yet. There's still a little more work to do, especially because you're all tied up at the moment. There are still things that are keeping you in your own head, soaking maybe, afraid, mad. All those energies just tie us up. So what it tells me is that Ariel is going to help you balance your chakras, and there's going to be enough energy to keep you up. But because you're all tied up right now, you're not going to reach the victory that you want. Let go of some of that energy, and the Angel of Balance is going to be right there with you to make it all work out. But we'll get there. We're just not, I don't know why I'm yelling. We'll get there. We're just not quite there. I hope that made sense to you. Let me look some of the comments here. Jody sent us some hearts. Gabe said, you read me like every time. That's right. All right, cool. So Lisa Ramirez is next. And let me scroll down for a second. Let me see if I see somebody. And then Charlie Ordaz, you are next with me. So don't go anywhere.
All right, Lisa. So it looks like you are dealing with a somewhat challenging situation in your life right now. And I can tell you that because your you now is the devil reversed. So this would tell me that you're actually in a place where you're your subconscious thoughts, your deeper, darker thoughts about yourself, all of that has come to the surface, and it's really something that you're struggling with and really having a hard time being able to really see the light side of yourself. And there's that balance to everyone. That's the yin and the yang. There's always that balance. And if we're out of balance, the yin and the yang actually represents that spinning energy, and it's always working to right itself and balance itself. So even though it feels like there's more black in your yin and yang symbol with the energy that you're dealing with right now, it's always working towards balancing out. It's just a matter of how resistant we are to that energy. So even though it feels like things are very bad, that you're seeing yourself from the worst possible light, the card that's crossing you is the Nine of Cups. So what this tells me is there's two things that it feels like what you are saying that you want, you feel that it never manifests. And it also feels like whatever you are focused on in your negative thoughts, that's what seems to manifest, because this card is also known as the genie card, or it's what the universe is providing you in this situation. So know that that energy is with you, and it kind of makes you double down on your negative thoughts towards yourself. But what you should be focusing on instead is gratitude. Gratitude is the best way to bring you back to all forms of abundance, which is the Empress for you, your theme card. So you have the ability to see that, but it's a matter of you appreciating the things that you have currently in your life, because I feel like you're trying to accomplish things outside of what you currently have within your reach, and it's feeling like you're not able to accomplish those things. So I would challenge you to really focus on gratitude, even if it's just listing 5 to 10 things at night in your phone before you go to bed, 10 things that you're thankful for, doing that in the morning, doing that at night. That really can help shift your energy towards a more positive direction, because in the recent past into your present, you have the 8 of Wands. So there's been a lot happening all at once for you, and that can also make things feel very challenging. With your current influences, you have Judgment reversed. So this would tell me, again, this is kind of doubling down on that. You're being very judgmental with yourself, harshly judgmental with the way that you're looking at how you're accomplishing the things in your life and what you're trying to do. So again, focusing on that gratitude and what you're grateful for in your life, I think is going to really help positively shift your energy moving forward. And future influences, you have the 6 of Pentacles. So there's going to be some type of assistance that's provided to you by the universe. Some type of benefactor is going to be able to come in and help you to kind of dig in to those negative feelings and help you see yourself from a more clear perspective. Myself doing this reading for you can also be somewhat represented by this card, but I also feel like there's going to be someone that reveals himself to you and is of great assistance in getting you out of this negative thought process with yourself. With that being said, what you're focused on is the Ace of Wands reversed. So this tells me that you really are feeling like whatever you're trying to accomplish, it's just not happening. And what the universe wants you to focus on is allowing yourself to see the situation as it truly is, and not how you want it to be or how you perceive it to be. The universe really wants you to kind of put on your seeing glasses and see things more clearly than ever before, and seeing things from a different perspective. That's the advice from the tarot, is the Hanged Man, making sure that you're trying to see the situation from a new perspective. Your outcome is the Queen of Cups reversed. So this would tell me that this is a long-term issue that you've been dealing with, and that you're still going to be dealing with these things moving forward. But there's an opportunity for you right now to move forward in love with yourself, and being able to allow yourself to see the things that you have to be grateful in your life, and the love that is surrounding you and that you provide to other people as well. So I know you're dealing with a lot of heaviness right now, but just know that, especially with this full moon and Leo coming in, give yourself the love that you are looking to receive from others. Allow yourself to give that to you first. And I think you're going to have a huge shift coming into after this full moon.
I know you said others, but my head's understood others.
Oh my.
Oh my. Lisa, I hope that makes sense to you. And yes, Jennifer Estrella, where are you? Leandra Estrella, where are you? I hope you made it to the show. Lisa said, well said. I guess something, yeah, something I said was well said. And yes, we want to say hello to Crystal Kent from Stella Mata. I hope you're feeling better. Let's see, we already got Lisa, and Estella sent us a kiss. Crystal sent us a little heart. So I'm going to do Charlie, and then David Gonzalez, you're next with Wayne, but don't go anywhere. Charlie, for Charlie. Hi, Charlie. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Charlie is a longtime viewer of all of our shows. We appreciate you watching. Number one, we're starting your foundation is on being all tied up. So some of the things in your life that were all messed up, all tied up, that kept you from moving forward in the direction that you wanted to move on. Now, some of these could be because of some financial constraints, either not having the money, um, lending the money, but I feel like I had the money, then I didn't have the money. So whatever you wanted to do that was going to get you out of the situation that you were in, I feel like either, and I'll look at more in a minute, either the situation got you into financial constraint, or the financial constraint just amplified the situation, if that makes sense. Now, one of the cool things is that the goddess of the moon is here, and the goddess of the moon is just here to tell you that this is just a phase. Now, it's upside down, so it tells me that we're coming to the end of the phase, so that this phase that you were going under, where you were lacking in financial security. Now, let me clarify, because sometimes in spirituality, the financial card could be just spiritual gains. Like, I don't feel spiritually wealthy at the moment. But this is a phase that you're going through, and we're coming out of it pretty soon. So even though there is some deceit in your spirit telling you that you're never going to come out of the situation, nothing's ever going to get better. This is always the boy, were we not just talking about this when the show started? That there was a time in my life where I just felt like everything was going to be stuck in one place. But you're not going to be stuck there forever if you don't want to. Now, interesting enough, here comes the angel of balance again. Here comes Ariel. Ariel's coming to tell you, like, hey, Charlie, things might have been all tied up for a moment, but I'm going to help you bring the balance back. Mental note for everybody. Balance means start and ending, good and bad, light and dark. It doesn't mean everything's happy. So for everything that goes well, something has to go bad. Just keep that in mind. Now, the thing that you should work on is still trying to rest. Not that you're not well yet, not that you're not ready to take on the world, but take it one step at a time. Even like I'm thinking, I like tacos. I can't eat a whole taco in one bite. I got to take it one step at a time. So don't think you have to take over your life all at once. So what it tells me is that even though I'm all tied up right now, things are going to get balanced as long as I get the rest I need. Don't deceive yourself in thinking that it'll last forever, because it's just a phase. And the financial and spiritual gain that you want is coming back to you. So just pay attention to that. Things may not be where you want them to be, but they're going to get where they're supposed to get. Now, there's a couple of things that I know personally about Charlie. And for anybody out there, I just feel like that when we go through, and I think I'm free to say this, Wayne and I have both been through health issues in our personal lives. We never go back to where we were before. There is no going back to the normal, because you've had a new experience in your life that might have been life-threatening. It could have been scary, like in my case, near death. You never go back to where you were because you don't fit there anymore. Does that make sense, Wayne? You want to add anything?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And of the health issues I've had, I had viral encephalitis back in 2011 from a bug bite and almost died, went into a coma. And it definitely, from a physical perspective, I definitely vibe with that I don't experience the world in the same way that I did before. And it even changes your thought process, because there are still times where I think about, like, what if I had died? And, all of this that I've had ever since is just a gift that I've been able to be given. And it makes it, I think, easier to accept, especially the great things in life, because who doesn't want to appreciate the great things? But I think it also makes me appreciate and understand that when I'm going through challenges, that, if I wasn't meant to experience this, I would have died back then, and I would have, so this is all a new opportunity. So it gives you, even if you're looking at the same situation, it gives you a different perspective on it, for sure.
So, Charlie, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, so that you can get where you're supposed to go. Ooh, why isn't that a bumper sticker?
I love it. Oh, and I wanted to say, piggybacking off what you had just said, the only thing I disagree with you, Daniel, is that I do think that you could eat a taco in one bite. I don't think that is entirely true. I think that you like to savor it, and maybe you do the 2 to 3 bites, but I know you.
Challenge accepted.
Carlos is here we come.
All right, before I move on to David, we're going to do some comments. Crystal said, yes, things are out of balance, but I know it'll work out eventually. Amen. It will work out eventually. You are most welcome. Lisa says, true on that. Lisa said, yes, too many things at once. And she also said, thank you. A lot of that makes sense. I'm glad. So you're doing David. and then I'm doing Jacqueline after that. So Jacqueline, don't go anywhere. And remember, folks, if you like your reading, if it made sense to you, here is down at the bottom is the Cash App and Venmo. It's my Cash App and Venmo, but I promise I do share with Wayne, so we will say those. So if you're able to tip or donate, we are most we'll accept those. Thank you. Oh, where is it? You're doing David, right?
Yes. All right, David. So it's interesting. I pulled your cards while Daniel was doing that last reading, and we have a lot of the same theme going on for you right now as well, in that the card that's crossing you right now is the Tower. So this tells me that there has been some type of situation that has occurred in your life that was outside of your control, that has completely changed and shifted your perception and how you move forward in the world. The two most challenging cards in the tarot, in my opinion, that people think of is Death, and that they don't always think of is the Tower. So, and the Tower comes just after Death. So it's interesting. It tells me that there's definitely some type of situation that has occurred for you, that there's been some kind of loss for you as well. You now is the Three of Cups reversed. So this tells me that there's something that the community that surrounds you, that either you're not feeling supported the way that you normally do, or it feels like the support that you're being provided right now isn't propelling you forward in the way that you would hope. That it does feel like whatever situation has occurred, the theme for you right now is the Five of Wands, and it's reversed. And this card is all about kind of having to fight, constantly battle. No one's really making progress. So this would tell me that whatever situation you're dealing with, it's likely that there are other people that you're having to battle and to try to kind of make them see the truth of the situation. Recent past affecting your present. This card's popped up actually quite a bit tonight as well. The Nine of Cups, which is the genie card. Your wish is your command. So it feels like in the recent past coming up to the present, there was some type of, I feel like there was a moment that you said, okay, enough is enough. I'm done. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I need the situation to change. Whatever it is that will happen needs to happen. So you put it out to the universe, and what the universe is giving you, even though it's giving you a challenge, a different way to look at life, a devastating situation, there's new emotional growth that's coming from it. So this has likely been an issue that's been plaguing you for quite some time. I'm seeing years and years, like almost six years to a decade, and you're finally coming to a point of having emotional renewal with it. With that being said, the future coming into being based off the present. This card's also been with us a lot tonight, the Eight of Wands reversed. So this would tell me that this new emotional beginning is going to be something that comes across and is a slower process for you, which I think is good. I think it's something that you need to be able to feel like there is emotional stability for you going forward, so that you don't feel like you're going to have to repeat the lessons from this situation that has just recently played out. With that being said, internal influence is what you're focused on. It is the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So this really isn't a time for you to move forward with being able to plan your next steps, especially when it comes to your career, the abundance that you're bringing in. It's a time for you to really embrace new opportunities and what can come your way. This is what the universe is providing you, the Fool. So you've learned lessons from this last go round, and now it's time for you to move forward unencumbered, knowing that you've had those experiences, that you bring those skills with you going forward, but the universe is giving you a new beginning in this. And with that being said, the guide or the advice from the tarot is the Wheel of Fortune, and knowing that the wheel does turn, and that even though you're facing very harsh, challenging situations right now, that there is light coming from it, light coming to the situation. And your outcome is going to make you even more emotionally strong than you were before, more emotionally understanding of yourself. And it's going to make you relate better to the people who you choose to surround yourself with in life going forward, because I feel like there's been lines drawn in the sand and relationships lost through this challenge. So know that there's gold at the end of it. You just got to continue to do your work in it and allow yourself to be free of the old and embrace the new.
Cool. Some more comments came in. Jacqueline, you're next with me, and then Rosie Corona, you're next with Wayne after that. But let me bring up some comments. I forget where I left off. Crystal Guns, Salamata, I'm hanging in there, resting and recovering, but I think I'll be back in full Crystal mode sooner than later. Fingers crossed. Crystal is an amazing advocate friend of ours, and with Estella, we've all worked together on projects. So she had a health issue recently, so sending you some good healing vibes your way. Charlie, you are most welcome. Why don't you ask him yourself? Can you ask your co-host if he's single? Well.
Well, I appreciate the question. I am very happily committed in a relationship. So thank you for that. Thank you for the little ego boost for myself.
Woo-hoo. Woo, for you. Okay, so Jacqueline, I'm next with you. Rosie, Corona, you're next with Wayne. And then actually, Christian is watching. So Christian wants with you after that. So if you don't mind doing two in a row, would that work for you? Okay, so you got Rosie and Christian. And then my cousin Maris, I will do you after that. Or we can do her and then Christian at the end if you want. So we can. All right. So that got confusing. Okay. I'm with Jacqueline, and then you are with Rosie. Jacqueline, hi. I forgot where I was there for a second. There's a show going on. Jacqueline, for you right now, this is the thinking woman upside down coming upside down. So it tells me that we're coming to the end of overanalyzing every little thing that's happening in your life, like everything that we had, like todo, like just trying to break down everything, the why, the who, the where, the what. But you know what? There's some things that the universe is just not willing to share with you. The cool thing that we all you have to know right now is that the door to value is opening up. So if you were feeling a little less than, a little under, a little underwhelmed by people, places, and things around your life, this is coming back to you. Sometimes we don't get satisfied with people around us because we're not satisfied with ourselves. The cool thing is that the attachment card is coming up. So at the end, and this is our outcome. So people, I say this all the time: people, places, and things. What people, places, and things are you attached to right now that could be removed from your ripple effect that will give you the freedom to do what you want to do? There's some people standing in the way. We need to move them out of the way. Now, the reason I say this is because here's the door to spirit. Spirit is opening doors for you. Spirit is like, hey, we've been pleasing people for a long time. Let's go do our own thing. And you're like, I think I want to, but there's a little bit of tornadoes and storms going on in my heart. Your heart is not easily letting go of these attachments because I feel like because you think more about other people, and I say this with love, I feel like you think more about other people than you think about you, and that can be very difficult. Just know that the cornucopia lets me know that you will have everything that you need to move forward. So if there's a separation of people, places, and things in your life, and you're concerned that you're not going to have what you need moving forward, I want you to know that the universe is telling you you're going to be okay. Are you going to be great? Is everything going to be awesome? Probably not, but everything's going to be okay and it's going to get you to the next level. So the thinking of the situations, I don't know why. Okay. I don't know. When I read you, I'm smelling paint. Are you painting your house by any chance? Are you painting anything? Just an idea. So the thinking of situations, it's what's getting you into these storms. But just know that you'll have everything you need because spirit is opening doors for you. The attachment that you have to people, the moment you let go of people, places, and things that you don't need anymore, it's going to bring you your personal value. And that's what we're looking for, personal value. I feel like they took away a lot from you, and it's important to bring it back. So I don't know. Are you painting, Jacqueline? I don't know what I'm saying, asking that, but I saw paint when I was reading for you. Does that ever happen to you? Do you ever like get here?
I don't. I most of my intuition comes through as a knowing or an emotion. So I think it's interesting actually. Iris, who you know, her mom, her intuition works through smell mainly. So whenever she has done readings in the past, I know it's strictly everything that comes through for her is typically through smell. So I've always found it to be very interesting, but I've never really had like, other than like disembodied roses every so often, which I know also represents people who've crossed over, people trying to get my attention from the other side. But it's very, very rare for me. It's definitely not one of the things that I experience in my intuition.
Because I've been doing that a lot lately. I'll be at Christian's house and just the most random smells come by. And right now I'm smelling, and it's nothing I have here. I smell paint. I smell paint. Maybe they're painting outside. I'll go check outside. Okay, so
Interesting.
you've got Rosie, then I got Maris, and then you've got Christian. So don't go anywhere
Beautiful.
close.
All right, Rosie. So it looks like you're actually in. It's interesting what you have coming up for you in the cards, and I know I've read for you before. I don't necessarily remember what we spoke about in the past, but hopefully this will vibe and resonate along with it. So you now is the Ten of Cups. So this shows me that you're currently coming from a place of emotional fulfillment and emotional abundance, having people around you that you feel supported by. I would say there's a lot of really healthy self-love that you've been giving yourself as well. And you're at the cusp of like having learned this lesson and then being able to upgrade it and move forward to the next level, which would then be represented by the Ace of Cups. That's what would come next in this, in that. So with that being said, what's crossing you is the King of Pentacles. So this would tell me that you're having some type of challenge in your career and your finances and having your material needs being met. So it's interesting because you have the fulfillment there with the Ten of Cups, but you also have the challenge of continuing to have your material needs needing to be met. With that being said, the theme for you is the Seven of Pentacles. So this shows that you're continuing to consistently work towards your goals and moving towards accomplishing what it is that you're wanting to accomplish, with every so often having kind of ghosts from the past pop up and make challenges for you. Recent past affecting your present, the Five of Pentacles reverse. So this card typically represents homelessness and feeling like you're out on the street, not able to make things happen. So I would say in the recent past, you've probably felt struggle in that. And you're coming to a point now in the present influences where it's the Chariot, where you're having to make a decision. You're coming to a fork in the road. I feel like you already know what that fork is. You're trying to decide how you're going to move forward and what decision you're going to make. And whatever decision you make is the right decision. It's the way that you will move forward, obviously. So don't be scared about making that decision. My guidance to you is future influences coming into the present is the Five of Cups. So whatever decision you're making, know that there is going to be a loss of some sort. There's going to be some type of relationships that may fall out. There may be some type of guaranteed business that you've had in the past that will no longer be present for you. But the thing is, you'll notice this figure is focused on the chalices that have fallen over, but they still have two upright chalices there. So there's still gold for you emotionally in this situation. It's just a matter of you being able to grieve over what's lost and then put your focus on what you have and then continue to focus on growing that. With that being said, what your internal influences are, what you're focused on, is the Six of Cups, which is all about nostalgia. It's all about looking to the past. And with it being reversed, it makes me feel like you're looking back to the past a lot and like grieving and saying, I wish that things could be the way that they were back then. I wish that things could be the way they were back then. It's great to look back and to reminisce about the past and motivate yourself from it, but try not to focus too much on that. Allow yourself what the universe wants to give you in the situation is a little bit more guidance and a little bit more energy to move forward. But with this being reversed, I would also say the universe wants you to carefully contemplate how you want to move forward. And again, knowing that there's going to be some sort of loss that you're going to have to accept in that. But being able to do that is going to allow you to come home successful and be celebrated and feel like you've been able to accomplish what you've wanted to accomplish. However, the outcome at the end of the day is understanding that you have to walk away from the situation, emotionally walk away, physically walk away, disconnect from the situation altogether. So once you make that decision and moving forward with being able to move forward with that, I think you're going to find a lot more grounded happiness in your emotions, and you're going to understand the situation a lot more clearly going forward as well.
Cool. All right. So, Medium, you're with me. And then finally, Christian at the end will be with Wayne. So I'll come back to that one. You, please. Yes, you. For you, number one, there's a lot of hearts going on tonight for everybody. And by the way, I want to say thank you to Charlie, Rosie, and Estella for your tips tonight. We appreciate that. Medium. So for you, the door to romance, it comes up upside down. So there's a couple of things that are affecting the way that I'm, and I say I, but I'm talking about you. I feel like there's a couple of things that are affecting the way that I'm falling in love, the way that I'm accepting and giving love at the moment. Now, I am going to disclaimer that I do know a couple of things that are going on in your personal life. So that might be that's what's throwing off the balance is the fact that you don't have enough time for yourself. It's one of those, I don't have enough time to think situations. So it's really difficult to love ourselves when we're so overwhelmed taking care of other people. Number two, just know that the messages that you get in here is the crown chakra, seventh chakra, Oriel up here, the crown. It's just letting you know every time that every message you get from a random person, every message that you get just on the streets, every time you feel, smell, hear, taste something that the universe is sending you, it's just a message to remind you that the universe is going to repay you in the end. And most people say, I do it with love. I take care of people with love. I'm like, yes, but the universe is like, I'm still going to reward you somehow. It's not up to you if I do it or not. So number three, be aware of broken hearts. Not everything, and we all do this. Let's raise your hand if so. Like sometimes we forget to say thank you. Sometimes we forget to tell people that we're grateful, we appreciate them. So do not take things too personal right now. Don't let them go through your heart. Sift through the heart chakra the information that comes to you. Now, your spirit is in thinking mode. What that tells me is that we're on we're in autoplay. We're like robotic right now. A lot of things are just like, I must complete, I must succeed, I must do, which is really hard to do. But I'll tell you this much. I am not a natural born caregiver. I don't, so I don't fall into that. But people who have a tendency to fall into natural caregiving will fall into that mode of robotic, because you go on autoplay. It's just automatic. But you have to be careful. Just know that in your heart, Archangel Michael, first chakra, is keeping your heart balanced. It's really interesting because Michael's in your heart. There's romance in your start, and there's romance and there's hearts in your outcome. There's a lot of feelings and emotions going on right now. Don't trust feel it, but know that the feelings are fleeting and they'll come and go. So, not that you're not supposed to pay attention to your feelings, but don't trust everything your feelings tell you, because sometimes it tells you when you're sad and you don't, like, it's not all true. Sometimes we have feelings when we're really mad, and I know those aren't always true, but just know that. And I say that you're the caregiver because here's the healer of the ages. This is you. You are a healer. Probably the reason you stay intact is because you're meant to heal other people. And the reason that sometimes you seem cold is because you have to have have a balanced eye to make sure that everything works out. So what it tells me is that as you're starting to love yourself more, it's because you're staying grounded. You're becoming the healer that you want and thinking things through. Your mind and your spirit are pretty well balanced. Some things are going to hurt, but just know that the universe is allowing you to keep your crown chakra and remind you that you're perfect in your imperfections and that you are divine just the way you are. Um, are you a natural born caregiver, Wayne?
Um, I think there's some natural ability built with it, but I think my dynamic growing up made me into a caregiver even more so, and especially needing to understand the emotions of everyone that was around me, my family, and making sure that I wasn't triggering any crazy situations. So I think for me, it was more my environment that trained me to do that as almost like a defense mechanism. And it isn't until recently that I've been able to more understand that and understand my caregiving and making sure that that caregiving is given in a way that is not detrimental to me or overgiving in my way. Or is it, am I coming from a self-defense, self-protection place, or am I, really able to provide the support that I need to? So, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So, do we see David? David said, you tapped exactly into my current situation. Thank you for the read. Christian says, no, my friend, he is not. I think he's talking about you are not signal. And Charlie said, oh, okay, but you're still handsome, Wayne.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. Now that I know you have a partner, man, you're ugly.
Yeah. Glad I didn't ask.
Christian minus blank. Jacqueline said, thank you so much. Makes sense. And you were right. I had a couple of doors I have a couple of doors opening at work. And yes, I think more of others, and it's difficult, especially because I want to separate from a person and move on. Thank you. That makes sense. I have to start putting me first instead of thinking of others, or I would never be happy. Yeah, there's time for other people, but what did I say, Maida? Did I say Maida? Oh my God. And she says, thank you. So accurate. You're welcome. We'll see if we have time because we're almost at the hour, Lacey. But hold on, don't go anywhere. Oh my God, that is a true today. I feel so sad for no reason. Yep, that's the energy. You're welcome. Um, Carolina says hello, and Scorpio. Go Scorpios. Oh, you sent an avatar, but it did not show apparently on your host system. No, it did not. But okay, so it's Christian's turn, and then I think we have time for one more, right? The last one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who was the last one? I'll find the last one. Okay, so Christian is next.
All right. Hello, Christian. Long time no see. So interesting. I know because obviously I know you. You're a friend. It's easier to remember what comes up in your reading. So it's very interesting for you right now. You now is the King of Cups reverse. So this would tell me that you're in a more emotional place, and I would say a little bit more negatively framed. So your emotions have been a little bit more challenging for you lately, and I feel like this is tied a lot to the physical for you, the changes that you're wanting to make in your body, the changes. I feel like career-wise, it's kind of laid out for you at this time, so it's not so much a focus. You know, you have that handled, but definitely you're coming from a little bit more heavier emotions, heavier place of mind, and what's crossing you is the Chariot. We've seen this many times tonight. So there's some type of decision that you need to make. Now, normally I feel like I'll say, there's a fork in the road coming, you need to make that decision. Whereas this, I feel like you're going to continue to move along until you finally decide to say, enough's enough, I'm going to move forward, and this is the direction that I'm going to do. And here's the list of how I'm going to go about accomplishing those things. Now, if you choose that, it feels like to me there's like fear of setting yourself up where, well, what if I don't do it for a day? Or what if I don't? Well, then you got to allow yourself that grace and know that just because you've decided it now doesn't mean that once you don't do it that one time that it's completely negated. It's being able to pick yourself back up and say, okay, yes, you know what, I didn't do it yesterday, but I'm going to refocus. I've made this decision already, and I'm just going to continue to move forward from there for today. So don't allow this moment to be the one that overflows and makes you feel like nothing's happening for you, because you are making progress. The other thing that's important for you, the theme, is the Five of Cups. Also, we've seen this tonight. There's an acknowledgement of needing to grieve for the way that the situation is. There's the way that I want to say this is, it feels like you're beating yourself up for not having made this decision sooner. And it feels like I've made this decision 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And it feels like you always feel like you fall off the wagon, which is funny because you have the Chariot, which is literally a wagon. It feels like you fall off the wagon, and it's like you beat yourself up because you weren't able to execute it perfectly. So you need to acknowledge that, sometimes you're going to fail. Sometimes you're not going to be able to make things work the way you want to, but there's always tomorrow. There's always the decision that you can make to move forward from there. And what you're working on recent past is temperance. So you're working on integrating your physical and your emotional world more than ever. I feel like the work that you're doing, I feel like there's therapy that's occurring, and I feel like the work you're doing is helping you to do those integrations. But there's been some type of breakthrough. I feel like some type of situation, memory, that you may have forgotten that has come up that's helping you to better integrate those memories. But it's hard for you to accept the change. It's hard for you to, this is represented by death reverse, that there's some resistance to this change that's happening. So what's really important for you to continue to do going forward is to contemplate and allow yourself to just sit and be. And I think especially after, after a therapy session, being able to just sit and not judge yourself so harshly for what you haven't been able to accomplish, and put your focus more on what it is that is the goal for you. With that being said, you have a wonderful community of support around you and people that you can know and trust. And I think that there's an opportunity for you to be a little bit even more transparent in the things that you're doing to try and accomplish the goals that you're going after. With that being said, the more that you're able to allow yourself to be in the process and embracing the process in whatever choice you decide to move forward with, the universe is going to reward it for you. And there's going to be more rewards than just your emotional happiness. There's going to be physical happiness that comes with it. There's going to be celebrations. And I feel like there's going to be an even better way for you to manifest more abundance in your life because of it. So with that being said, your outcome, things are going to start happening very quickly for you. You just need to acknowledge that even if you decide to move forward again in what it is that you're wanting to accomplish, know that you are constantly in that state of making that decision and being able to just accept that if sometimes you're not going to be able to hit the mark completely, and that's okay. Let yourself not hit the mark. Let yourself be able to move forward that next day or that next moment, and know that you're going to start making progress in that way. But you're so harsh with yourself in saying, I made the decision and then I wasn't able to see it through. Well, just because you didn't do it one time doesn't mean you failed. Only if you stop doing it completely have you failed at that point. So just allow yourself to continue to move forward. But there's great change available to you, and you are working through the process of bringing everything together. But just be a little bit less harsh on yourself. I feel like you need to be able to celebrate yourself a little bit more, and not be so negative in your own self-perspective of what you're being able to accomplish.
I'm talking back at you, and I'm not even on screen. And yes, I apologize. I have two cousins, and I always confuse their avatars. But yes, sorry, Maida is watching, so thank you, Maida, for watching the show. Um, all right, Lacey, and then the last one is Carolina. They're both, I believe, new to the show, so I don't want to leave them without getting the reading. So I'm gonna do Lacey, and then uh, Carolina. Don't go away. You'll be next with Wayne. So Lacey, welcome to the show. We're so glad that you're watching. Um, what we do here is we do a couple of card readings. We pull about 5 cards each for the person, and then if you're able, or if you can, tip us or donations, we accept them right here at Card Divo, and then I will share them with Wayne at the end. So for you, Lacey, number one, in your yesterday, this is about all the hostilities, all the things that were going on in your life that were causing some of that anger and resentments and fears. Remember, sometimes fears are the worst. They're the worst foundation for anger and resentments, because if it starts from fear, it's going to grow, particularly when it comes to male energies with money. And since this is reflecting you, I'm going to say that your masculine side was connected more with money at the moment. And that's what's giving you arguing about money. And I don't feel like I'm arguing with money about somebody else. And I just recently went through this, where money is shifting and we get mad, but we blame it on other people. Now, I say that this is affecting because here's the Caring Connections card. It's coming up upside down for me. So it tells me that financial situations are affecting my relationships with others. Why do I say you? Because this is really interesting. Not only did you get the male energy with the money, but you got the female energy with the money. So it's all about the money. Show me the money right now. You're sorry, I'm cracking up at myself. Not only is your brain thinking money, but your spirit is thinking money, and they're fighting with each other. So I would say that right now would not be the right time to invest in anything, to lend money, to just spend money that you might want to spend. Although the money might come back to you, because I'm feeling the itch in my hand, the money might come back to you. I just feel like right now is not the perfect time. Your heart is telling you that you need to walk away from certain situation. This can always be people, places, and things. Usually it's people. So it's a perfect time to walk away from somebody, particularly if it has to do with financial situations or connections. Count your losses and walk away. I don't think you're going to recoup everything that you've invested. So stop. Just stop. Like, it's not, I feel like I get the feeling like those collectors that keep calling every day, and you're like, if I didn't have money yesterday, what do you think I'm going to have it today? So stop trying to collect on it. You're not going to get it. You're not going to give back time. You're not going to give it money, and you're not going to give back the love. So just let it go for right now. But here is the possibilities. There's new opportunities coming for you. Take them. Go. That's why your heart is saying, should I walk away? Should I stay? It's time to walk away from the situation. It's not helping you. It's not doing anything for you to sit around and wait for things to change. So it tells me that some of the hostilities going into my life, I'm ready to walk away from them because there's new possibilities and opportunities for me. This has to do with the money and the personal value when it comes to connections and financial situations. So not only will walking away enhance your spirit, but it'll enhance your purse too, your wallet. So I think it's time to walk away from the situation. I hope that made sense. Some of the messages we go to Carolina is Christian. No, oh, he's on an avatar. Yes, I realize that. Sorry about that. My goodness, so right on, blowing my mind. Good. Thank you, Wayne. And then people, if you're getting some hacks from some lady, don't worry, I'm going to delete it. Somebody is tapping into our account. So, okay. Carolina will be with Wayne, and then we'll say goodbye after that.
All right, Carolina. So looks like you are currently in a place where you're working on your creative energy and making things happen. You have the Knight of Wands for your current you now energy. So there's a lot of inspiration. There's a lot of creative ideas, which especially since we're in Aquarius right now, this is the time for ideas, looking at the big picture and how those things can benefit the world at large, so to speak. So that's a great place for you to be coming from. What's crossing you, your current challenge, is the Page of Wands. So there's some type of message that you're waiting to receive. You're waiting for the universe to say, okay, go ahead. Okay, yes, this is the time. And you're waiting for these like divine signs to come through. You can take this reading as a divine sign. I think that there's other things that are popping up for you as well. But there is, for the theme for you right now, the Fool reverse. So it tells me that there's opportunity for a new, fresh start for you, leveling up and moving forward, moving on. But with it being reversed, there's some type of rejection that you keep saying, oh no, wait, one more time. Let me just make sure. I really like the way that things are. I don't necessarily like the way that things are, but I don't want them to change so much. Like that's the energy that I'm getting from this card. Recent past affecting your present is the Three of Swords reversed. So there's some type of core issue. There's some core wound. I would say this is definitely tied to an intimate relationship that's been affecting you going forward. And it's something that is going to continue to affect you until you decide to address the situation head on. Now, with that being said, your current influences is the Queen of Pentacles. So right now, your focus really is on manifesting your best life, bringing that abundance in and making those things happen. So I feel like you're shifting yourself away from the heavier emotions that you've been dealing with and trying to just focus on career, finances, and moving forward, which is not a bad thing. However, it's important to know where your energy's at, and that if you're separating your energies for too long, you'll find those lessons will come across in other ways as well. So with that being said, your future influences coming into being is the Nine of Pentacles. So moving forward, you are going to find success in what you are going to manifest, what you're going to bring into your life physically, the abundance. And I feel like even though there's not really cups in your reading, that there's an emotional satisfaction that will be coming and an emotional fulfillment that you'll be feeling, being able to move forward. Now, what this is telling me as well, what you're focused on is what it's the Hierophant. So this is like society. This is groups of people. The world at large is represented by the Hierophant as well. And with that being said, I feel like you're really focused on doing what you feel other people are telling you should be doing, or what society at large would tell you to do in the situation, which I would say this feels like it's a romantic situation. It's a romantic relationship that has continued to play out over and over again, typically in the same way. And that the person that you're dealing with is somewhat of a manipulator, someone who's able to use a lot of smoke and mirrors, using the way that they speak to be able to further manipulate you and to keep you within their reach and keep you doing their beck and call and doing the things that they want you to do. With that being said, the situation as it currently is, the guidance from the tarot is the Nightmare card reversed. And this would tell me that the situation is likely continuing to be negative, and this negative intensity that you feel from it, it's literally the nightmare that you're having to relive. It feels like it's only going to continue to deepen and intensify until you're willing to look at that old wound, look at those old issues, and be able to say, I'm done, I'm moving forward and unencumbered from this situation. And if you're able to do it, because there's really nothing else for you to gain from the situation, if you're able to move forward, you'll have abundance coming in, a new fresh start, a new beginning, and you won't have this negative energy, this negative emotions looming over you anymore. So know that if you continue in the situation, you're going to keep cycling through and dealing with the same issues over and over again. And now is the time for you to decide, I'm done. I no longer want to be manipulated. I'm done with the smoke and mirrors, and I'm ready to move forward unencumbered. And although it's scary, new fresh starts, I think that you'll definitely feel like a new freshness and excitement about life that you haven't felt in quite some time.
Sounds good. Lacey said, thank you. You are welcome, Lazy. Lazy, not lazy, Lacey.
You were lazy and saying Lacey.
That's my Spanish coming out. It's like when I heard utter earlier. I can't speak and I can't hear. Anyway, remember, folks, these are Zodiacs for today. This is for February 3rd, 2023. If you are able to tip or donate, we accept them on Cash App and Venmo at Card Divo. And don't worry, I will share with Wayne. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I want to remind you that we've got shows here on the network almost every day of the week. On Monday mornings, you can check your horoscopes on any of our social pages. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Nextdoor, um, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, yes, all of those. So make sure
Next door.
anywhere you're following us, we're there. Uh, every other Monday, we've got Insightful movie review show, and this coming Monday, February 6th. There we go. February 6th, we'll be uh, taking a new insight into the movie Torch Song Trilogy, which you can find on YouTube, and I'll be sharing that page when I post the show this weekend. So make sure you go check it out. It's a 2.5 hour movie, so take your time in watching it. Yes, it's a long movie, but we will expect to see you on Monday, just like this, where you can share in helping us review that movie. Is there something you liked about it, something you didn't like? And we want to invite you all. If there is a movie that inspired you, motivated you, ticked you off for some reason, and you want to talk about it, message us whatever page you're on. Private message me and let me know. Hey, I have this movie that I want to talk about, and then you can be a guest co-host on the show. You'll come on and you'll share the stage with us, and we get to talk about it. And hopefully, more people share their thoughts. On Wednesdays, with the Christian and Daniel show. On Fridays, we're back with Card Divo presents Zodiacs, which I think at some point we're just going to change the name because it's just Zodiacs now. With me and Richard Wayne Kilgo, join us in that. And then not this Saturday, but next Saturday, we're back with another episode of Put It Together live stream and a new interview for you folks. If you follow us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and ring the doorbell. Hit that bell. Man, you know that moment where you're like, it's time to go to bed. This is that moment. It's time to go to bed.
You've had a long day.
I was up at 4 o'clock this morning for work, folks. So let me just say that. Hit the bell, subscribe to our page on YouTube, and you can go back and watch all of the shows on the network. Go back and trace everything. Again, tips and donations are accepted. I'm going to shut up now. Any last thoughts?
Goodbye, everybody. No, I'm just kidding.
Any last thoughts before we leave?
Happy full moon. Let's soak in that Leo love. Let's soak in that Leo energy. And I'm excited to see what everyone starts accomplishing next week after we're soaking in that energy on Sunday.
Is that the full moon tonight? I haven't even looked at my calendar. Is that tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow morning, and it peaks for us in Pacific Standard Time around 10:30 in the morning. So we'll be feeling it earlier on in the day.
So, okay, so do you have a couple of minutes? So there's an interesting thing. I was in a listening session, and they were talking about full moon and new moons. Now, I'm going to ask you, typically, what rituals do you do for full moon, and what rituals do you do for new moon?
So the way that I've understood it, the way that I've read it, is when you're at a new moon, you want to focus on, so energy is very low, right? There's none of the moon showing, there's no energy really coming through the moon. So a new moon is a good time to set intentions, and whatever intentions that you set during a new moon, because the moon will then start to grow into a full moon over the next 2 weeks, whatever intention you set will also continue to grow as the moon continues to grow. So if there's something that you're wanting to bring in, things that you're wanting to manifest and have happen, then the new moon is really the time to do so. And then looking at the full moon is the full culmination of whatever intention was set during the prior new moon. So with full moons, it's a great time to do, if you don't sage regularly, the full moon, every time you have a full moon, it's a great time to sage because that energy is doubled up, but it's very vibrant. And then any intentions that you set during the full moon, it's good for banishing. So if you're wanting to release something from your life, if you're wanting to release a certain situation, as the moon then goes from full and condenses down, it helps you to release whatever intention is that you've set. So that's typically how I look at it.
That's what I understood. Full moon, let go. New moon, bring in. And I was in this session, and because I've had people that tell me, hey, I tried that and it doesn't seem to work. I've tried that and it doesn't. So I was in the session and I was saying, what do you tell people that have not had luck with the new moon, full moon scenario? And she said, flip it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it can't possibly be that simple. Like, shut up. But it makes sense that like spirituality is just like medication. Not every combination of meds works for everybody the same way. So for everybody out there, tomorrow when it's a full moon, yes, right? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
when it's a full moon, if in the past it's when you've let go of things and it just didn't feel like it worked, well then tomorrow I just got chills. Tomorrow in the full moon, call in new things. Make it, because it made me think about pendulums, how like Christian and I, when I work with pendulums, the yes and the no's are different in the way they respond to us. And I was like, duh. If we get the message from spirit through a pendulum different for everybody, then why wouldn't it be that the moon can work different for everybody too? It's just like when we tell people to sage and they're like, I don't feel anything. It's like, okay, well then stop saging. Like
Mhm.
maybe Palo Santo first and then sage afterwards. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I would also say something that is important, especially if you're starting a new practice or feeling like your practice with moon work isn't working for you. I am a huge advocate of, before you do the ritual, doing on a scale of 1 to 10, how do I feel? And whatever it is that you're trying to gauge. So that way you have your grounding of, okay, before I did the ritual, I was feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, I was feeling this. I was feeling 7. And then after you do the ritual, I think checking back in and seeing like, oh, do I feel different? Because that validation part, I think, is super important to know where you've come from and where you're at now. Because sometimes we have those shifts and they're so subtle that it feels like nothing's changed, even if there has been something that has changed. And the other thing I will say is each full moon is different. We have, every time there's a full moon, it's in a different sign. It's in the opposing sign of whatever the sun is in. So every full moon is different, even though it's a culmination. Like this full moon is in Leo. So moving forward, the next full moon will be in the next sign. And so it's also important that if you're trying to manifest, let's say you're trying to manifest something emotionally and we're in a earth sign, it may not be the right time to manifest that exactly. So if you want to take it one step further and look at what sign we're in or what sign the full moon is happening in or new moon, that will give you more insights into what energy is really easily available to you for manifesting. And because it still should manifest no matter what it is that you're putting out there. But if you can really take those hints and tips of what planet the moon is currently in, I think that'll help you understand what you should be focusing on in your manifestations as well.
Because I've been thought about this. Hold on, folks. We only got like 4 more minutes, 5 more minutes. But I've always thought about it this way: like if we're in February, and like where is my sign today? Like where am I? And that's how I would connect to the full moon tomorrow. Like depending where I am astrologically, maybe where my numerology is for the day. Like all of that could take into consideration. And then, so for all of you out there, like, and, let me put these up before you go. If you want by the way, yes, David, flip time. If it doesn't work, flip it like a pancake. Um, I'm I'm getting hungry right now. If you want a private session, here is my Instagram. You can reach me there, or whatever channel you're watching on. Or if you want to reach Wayne, there is his Instagram. Go check him out there. If you want a one-on-one session, uh, we do charge for the one-on-one session, so there is a price for that. But you get one-on-one a little more extended. I do a whole hour session. How much times do you do? An hour also?
I'll do it for however you want to book it. I do 15-minute increments, but if it's your first time with me and you're wanting a very in-depth, detailed reading, we can totally get into it. I'd recommend at least an hour.
An hour. So mine are usually an hour or two, which can be split into 30-30. But there's a lot of information that I put out there. So an hour is usually what it's suggested. Unless you're a repeat customer, you're just coming in for like a maintenance check, then we can just
Exactly. Getting that spiritual oil changed. How many miles? Check back in.
Where's the dipstick?
I don't think you have that problem.
Okay, folks, this is about the time where we say goodnight. But yes, make sure you check us out. Also, reminding everybody that Rubber Money in the Cards game is out for sale with $20 each. If you don't have a copy, order it now. It's $20 signed by me, and that includes delivery. And if you're looking for real estate photography,
That's me. I am currently serving Orange County, Inland Empire, and the surrounding areas. I will travel to Los Angeles County, San Diego County, but we offer high quality photography for homes, listings, rentals, Airbnb, video tours. I am FAA Part 107 certified, so I am licensed to be a drone pilot. I offer that drone photography as well and virtual tours. So if you're interested in finding out more about those services, www.richardkilgophotography.com. And you can also find that link on my Instagram. So if you go back to my Instagram, RWKII, I have the link tree there, and you'll be able to connect to my website through there as well.
So go check them out. Check us. And remember, we're here. Unless something happens, we're here every Friday, 6 p.m. Invite your friends. Be the first one on so you can say me as soon as we get on. For now, I want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye.